and welcome to this video where I'll be discussing how to choose a healthy breakfast cereal. And whilst I share these tips with you, I'll be showing you a recipe that I am trialing, making my own cereal. Now trust me, I always buy my cereal. It's just that I have this recipe which I've worked on previously and I thought I'd give it another go. It's not a completely finished recipe yet, but I'm enjoying the process of trialing. So this particular one is a hazelnut flavored cereal. Okay, so in this particular video, I want to share 3 main tips that I use when I'm buying breakfast cereals that I like to share with clients as well, in terms of just generally having cereal at breakfast time. These are the 3 tips that I want to share with you. So number 1 is choosing a whole grain cereal, but not just choosing a whole grain cereal, choosing 100% whole grain cereal, because many cereals out there are called multi-grain cereal or high fiber cereal. It doesn't necessarily mean that the contents of the cereal is 100% whole grain. Now, some of you will be familiar with the concept of focused day of eating and a relaxed day of eating, and of course, on a relaxed day of eating, have any cereal that your heart desires. These particular tips are really focusing on a focused day of eating, no pun intended, and really trying to ensure that the nutrient quality, the nutrient density is there. And so going for 100% whole grain is what's going to help to achieve this goal. So if you go into the supermarket and you're unsure of is it 100% whole grain, you'll need to turn the back of the package and look at the ingredients. Some of the ingredients that catch people out is if it says rice or rice flour as part of the ingredients. I have never seen whole grain rice being used in a cereal, and if it doesn't say whole grain rice, it's not a whole grain. It's not 100% whole grain cereal. And so on a focused day of eating, I'd recommend going for the full thing, get all of those, pack all those nutrients in and go for 100% whole grain. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 would be around the sugar content of the cereal. Now, this particular advice that I'm talking about is for cereal. So a good way to know if your breakfast is high or low is remember that sugar is a 5-letter word. If you get your hand out in front of you and you make like a high 5, and then you wiggle each little finger for each letter of sugar, so SUGAR, it's a 5-letter word, okay? Remember that with your hand, it's a 5-letter word. And if the cereal is less than 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, then you're good. You're good to go. Even though it might have sugar in the ingredient, it's very low in its quantity and it's considered a low sugar cereal. Another thing to recognize is in the UK, if it says low sugar on the packaging in the store, sometimes the internet can be a little bit funny, but if the actual packaging says low sugar on there, then by law it should be less than 5 grams of sugar per 100 grams, and you can confirm that by checking the back. Now, as some of you go ahead to do that, you're going to be really shocked and surprised that a lot of the cereals that you consider to be good to eat on a regular basis through the week, day in, day out, are high in sugar. So that's tip number 2. And my final tip is, if you're eating cereal at breakfast, I advise this for my clients, I advise this for myself, that have your breakfast be at least 10 grams of protein in total. And that might mean how you can match it with other foods, whether that's yogurt or semi-skim milk or other sort of high protein foods. That's my tips. notes for this video. The Yes to Healthy Eating recipe library will feature breakfast ideas and also have recommendations if you require further support and inspiration for a healthy and delicious breakfast.